besides these military color shorts and t-shirt. The rationale behind the decision, according to the Dutch explanation, is they did not want to provoke the Serbs. However, inside the base, the Dutch, who were dealing with the refugees, were heavily armed up to their teeth. So, when the Dutch came to tell the people inside the base, the Bosniaks who were unarmed, to get out, they were wearing full uniforms, full combat equipment, rifles, helmets, everything that a soldier uses in battle, in combat. That's how they dealt with Bosniak refugees inside the base. Okay. And they looked as if they were ready to use their weapons if the Bosniaks refused to leave. As they were leaving the building, 4 or 5 Dutch soldiers brought black plastic bags, those plastic bags which you use for garbage. They put them on the ground, and people had to pass through this checkpoint, which was somewhere here. So the Dutch told the people, now you empty your pockets. If you have any sharp instruments, any sharp objects, you have to hand it over to us and throw it down to these plastic bags. I was there, I was watching it. So people came and they had to take out, pocket knives, pens, pencils, whatever they had, any sort of metal object or sharp object. So basically Dutch soldiers disarmed the Bosniaks, who of course were not armed but had these objects in their possession. And then when this is done, a refugee who was inside continues going out. You get out of this door and you enter the path which I already described. And these X's show approximate positions of the Dutch soldiers who were standing on both sides. They made sure that the Bosniaks do not leave the path. They go straight to the gate. And I took a statement of one woman. I didn't see it myself, but it's in my book. One man, when he entered it, he came somewhere here, and he realized that nothing good is going to happen to him when he reaches the gate, because the Dutch did not tell the people what's going to happen to them. The Dutch told the people only one thing: go out, you will be evacuated. The Dutch knew very well that this is not going to happen, but they didn't tell it to the people. So this man actually turned around and he started walking back. I mean, I think it's this thing here. Get him? So that was his natural reaction. He starts walking back. And 2 Dutch soldiers came from both sides. They grabbed him for his arms, turned him around, and, directed him out of the base. When I was on the ICTY describing these events to Carla Del Ponte and other people who were saying that there's no evidence against the UN in terms of war crimes, and I described this situation, they didn't know what to say, because in my opinion, this single action is actually complicity in war crimes. You see? So this is the same situation, except that here I would like just to tell you that, sometimes you have the Dutch media saying, okay, people went out of the Dutch base, but we don't know where it happened, how it happened. It happened right there, in front of the eyes and the noses of the Dutch people who participated in this action. Building number one is actually a hospital. So you go out to be killed and you walk by a Dutch hospital. Number 2 is a Dutch gym where they trained, with this training equipment. Number 3 is the headquarters, the main office, the main building of Karamans, the Dutch commander and his deputy. So that's how the situation looked on the ground. I recreated this 3D image of the path. This picture was taken about 2 years ago, but that's exactly how the situation looked 13 years ago. So this is how it looked as the people went outside of the base. And the main gate is close to this position here. And this is another point, and that's why I named my book Under the UN Flag, which the full name of the book should have been Genocide Under the UN Flag, but I left the word genocide out for different reasons. When these people were being sent to die by the United Nations peacekeeping soldiers, Dutch battalion, two flags continued to fly on the top of this building. It was the flag of the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the flag of the United Nations. So these flags were still there. And people, there was genocide going on the ground while these two flags were being flown as if nothing was happening. The concrete block is still there. It should remain there forever. That's how it looks now, and that's how it looked then. 13 years ago, as you walk out, the Serb soldiers are waiting for you right there. Here, you walk by this sign, United Nations. On the other side, it says Dutchbat. See, you come out here, it says Dutchbat, and the Serbs grab you and take you away and kill you later. Or even some people were killed in that area. I have a statement where a Dutch soldier says he saw a man who just came out being killed by the Serbs right there, actually in this cornfield, so-called cornfield here. And that's how the place looks today as well. This is another document. There was now that's what happened in Potocari. Now you have the people sitting on high positions in the contact group, European Union, United Nations negotiators, UNPROFOR, and so on. Of course, you have to imagine that these people who were about to be killed, of course, hoped that someone up on the top of these organizations was going to say something to the Serbs, to Milosevic, to Mladic. Don't kill these people. We know you took them away, but don't kill them because, what you're doing is wrong. So this document shows that there was a meeting 2 days after Potocari. Some people were still alive. Not all people were killed immediately. The killings were actually taking place for several days until approximately 19 July. So during those several days, there was still time for the world, UN, EU, and everyone else to react and tell Mladic and Karadzic, don't kill these people. We know you are holding them, but you shouldn't kill them. So there was a meeting in Belgrade. This is how the original document looks like, and you can read it here. In Belgrade on 15 July, 2 days after Potocari, Thorvald Stoltenberg, who spoke on behalf of Kofi Annan, actually Boutros Ghali, because he spoke on behalf of the UN, Carl Bildt, who is now the Minister of International Affairs, Foreign Minister of Sweden. He was acting on behalf of the contact group. General Rupert Smith, the British general who was the commanding officer of all UNPROFOR units in Bosnia. Only Janvier, the French general who was sitting in Zagreb, was actually not there. So all these key people were in Belgrade on 15 July, 2 days after Potocari, and this is what they say. It's not only that they did nothing to tell Mladic. Mladic was there as well, in Belgrade, with Milosevic. It is not only that they did not tell Mladic and Milosevic what about the people you took away and what are you going to do with them. It's also that they hid the fact that they ever met with Mladic and Karadzic, because you can read by yourself. They decided to keep it a secret. So this is 15 July. On 16 July, 1 day later, the Serbs killed 2,000 people in Pilica and Kozluk location. And how we know it? Because one of the executioners, Dragan Nerdemovic, surrendered himself in 1996, and he testified